to know myself a little bit better, not a little bit better, a lot better, that I have ever known myself for the past like 20 over years.
At the core level of me, I just have two base emotions, which is sad and angry, sad and angry. And the first time I saw that, I was sad and angry. And I realized that, that's how I operate in my whole life. And that a lot of what I do as an adult is basically to mask that.
During the first 2 days, we also ran some exercises that made me realize when exactly I will start to become complacent. So that is also more data for me to know when I will start to fuck things up because I am complacent, and I think that this is the same result will happen tomorrow.
To really unlock the strength and weakness of each of your body, or like understanding what is blocking your body. But I think most importantly is to see the map on how the three bodies play a part to one another.
Second thing that I took away was huge. The second thing was that I also learned that my E-body takes precedence in a lot of reactions, which I've never, actually I know, but then but then it has never been like conceptualized or like broken it down for me, right? So to me it was like, it's very hard to control or to manage, even though I know that I get triggered. But then it's like, okay, then what? Like I get triggered, I try not to get triggered. But through like this 2.5 days itself, right? It also gave me like a framework to realize that, sometimes I'm just handling a lot of things, right? Like eye issues with emotions and not being efficient with that use of energy.
While I was journaling in the middle of the program, I realized that sadness and anger are actually also the source of my power.
Our thought processes and all that. So like why I think that the associations are so important is because like that led me to see my own thought processes, which I've never gotten to do that before, because it's all in my mind. But writing them down and having them, running through them over and over again made me see like, what are like the obstacles or what are the usual barriers that I create for myself just because of my own thoughts or my own belief system instead of what's reality.
Last is it gave me a map of how my emotional structure works and what are the points that I can look at in future programs to actually explore and see if there is still something there that is stopping me from progressing my life in the future.
Don't just teach you like a P-body in isolation. He don't just teach you like I or E-body in isolation. He always makes sure to bring it back into how you're going to apply it back into your life, and he also help you to draw links where you cannot see where the links are.
And the activities was great because it's something that I can bring out after the whole program and do it again on myself, or even test it on myself again.
I would say like very loosely, like quite life-changing in a sense because I gained so much more than I expected myself to gain. It's like I feel like after like this session, right, when I stepped out of it, it's something that I could apply immediately to my life, to be more conscious and to be more aware of like the body's working or the body's at work. And I think that that's something that's very important for me and basically moving forward in the future. So definitely would recommend.
I would still recommend it to people because one thing I realized as I was exploring my emotions and I am observing it in more detail, I realized that I am starting to flow with it and I judge my emotion less, and in turn I actually was feeling so much happier and more congruent with myself. Like I was just riding the taxi towards this venue in the morning, and I realized that my environment suddenly become more colorful. I feel more happier, and I can see my world more clearly. So even at that level, it's really worth taking this program. I don't know how to explain that happy feeling of just being in the moment, just getting the flow, and just letting life pass you by without judging it too much.
Yes, because I think we always take our bodies for granted. We always think we only have one physical body, and then we have emotions, and then we have our mind. And then there's a lot of like different models out there, right? People say, oh, there's the heart, the mind, the soul, there's the mind, the spirit, there's the this. But I think that in coming to TBEG gives you a much more tangible and concrete model to examine yourself, and these are things that are tangible that you can really
Definitely, right? Because it gives you a map in terms of starting out, and even if you're not planning to take any of the specialized program from TBEE after that, it gives you a good understanding of how you should monitor and observe your life as you go through every day, so that you can stop them, or you can continue them, accelerate them, amplify them, right, to get you to where you want to be or who you want to be.
All these bodies is what will sabotage us and limit us. Whereas if you come to TBEG and then you start learning about all these different bodies, then you also start learning how to manage them. Then you also start learning how you can make yourself run faster, how you can resolve your problems more easily, how you can just take your life to the next level.
Yeah, just go for it lah. Like, I mean, if you're sitting on the fence, right, means you already have thoughts of making that change in your life. So like, even if you delay it some more, this thing will just come back to you again. And I mean, why not now? You know, take that first step instead of just procrastinating for that step, where if you take a one step now, right, you would be reaching your goals one step earlier, or 1 year earlier, 2 years earlier than you starting like next year or next year. So just go for it.
I guess if you haven't really dived deep into this world, this program is probably one of the best starting point for you.
I would say just register for it, because honestly the price is not very high, but then the amount of value that you get from it is a lot higher than what I think the price is asking for.
Don't say it anymore. Don't be like me. Just sign up for it, and you'll be able to get so much more out of that.
So I would say this could be a cornerstone of any self-development